So welcome back to another bookshelf video. Wasn't sure whether to put this in the retro shelf or not, but this is more a general book. And it is You Are the Hero, an interactive history of fighting fantasy game books by Jonathan Green. Now, I was a huge fan of the fighting fantasy game books when I was younger, played quite a few of them with my brother Chris. And this came out a few years ago, and this was a birthday present. So thank you for that. And we'll have a look at the back. Cover illustration by Ian McCaig, who worked on several of the books. May your stamina never fail. Fighting fantasy game books, the publishing phenomenon in the 1980s, have sold over 20 million books worldwide in over 30 languages. When Steve Jackson and Ian Livingstone sat down to write the original fighting fantasy game book, The Warlock of Firetop Mountain, they could not have predicted that this one simple adventure would go on to spawn over 100 books, let alone begin to guess at the impact it would have on a generation of children growing up in the 1980s. Part history, part celebration, You Are the Hero chronicles 4 decades of the fighting fantasy phenomenon. Written by Jonathan Green, author of 8 fighting fantasy game books, this mighty tome will appeal to anyone who ever whiled away a washed-out summer holiday with only 2 dice, a pencil and an eraser for company. Great reviews there. The classic fighting fantasy logo used under permission. So let's have a quick flick through. Published by Snow Books. There's the Warlock himself in that artwork. And illustration, copyrights, Judge Dredd also mentioned. Tales from the Black Lobster Tavern. Background, how to negotiate this history of fighting fantasy game books. You Are the Hero. Acknowledgements. So Ian Livingstone and Steve Jackson contributed the foreword. A background, now turn over. A number of abbreviations are used throughout this book. Fighting fantasy is frequently shortened to FF, while AFF is the abbreviated form of advanced fighting fantasy. Capital S, accompanied by a number, refers to one of the titles in Steve Jackson's legendary Sorcery series. The Dragon by Russ Nicholson. Beautiful illustration. Worth mentioning how the game books have been numbered. Puffin Books published Adventures 1 to 59, but when Wizards Books took over, they published original adventures in different order, not once but twice, and started numbering from 1 again. For the purposes, individual solo adventure game books are numbered as they would have been had Puffin continued publishing. So Eye of the Dragon becomes FF60, Bloodbones FX61, most recent Shadow of the Giants 71. There's been several since. Then there's the 4 Sorcery adventures, The Clash of the Princes duology, interesting one that, and The Adventures of Goldhawk. Paragraphs and references are used interchangeably to refer to the numbered sections. The text of this book has been broken into numbered sections. You can either read the book from cover to cover, or you can turn to different numbered sections when presented with a choice of topics. We could do a mixture of both. May the luck of the gods go with you on the adventure ahead. So chapter 1, talking about the origins. Chapter 2, the Warlock and how it began. Chapter 3, the phenomenon. The art. So many of these are bringing back memories. Chapter 5, the Sorcery books. Interesting series. Chapter 6, the expansion of Firetop Mountain. From Scorpion Swamp to Riddling Reaver. Now, Scorpion Swamp was written by the American Steve Jackson. Interesting crossover there. Caverns of the Snow Witch illustrations there. Do remember those. House of Hell. Out of the Pit, about the monsters and the Titan, the Fighting Fantasy World book. I still have that one. The Cartographers, mapping the world. Different continents. Atlantia, where most of them are set. Firetop Mountain in space. So you've got Starship Traveler, Space Assassin. Freeway Fighter. The Rings of Kepha. Appointment with Fear, the superhero. Rebel Planet, Robot Commando. Star Trier, Strident Skylord. You've got the magazine, Warlock. I do have one issue of that. Beyond Firetop Mountain, branching out. And there's Clash of the Princes. There's actually 2 books. The Warlock's Way and the Warrior's Way. You play them together. It uses the state action and status to synchronize the 2. Very clever. I really enjoyed playing that with my brother. Tales of Firetop Mountain Part 1. Some of the later books. The Chronicles of Firetop Mountain. The next sequence of books. Leaving Firetop Mountain, what Steve and Ian did next. From Dead of Night to Siege of Sardaf. Dungeons, Advanced Fighting Fantasy, A Decade of Far Top Mountain, 10 years, 10th anniversary, Island of the Undead to Revenge of the Vampire, The Young Pretender, The Adventures of Goldhawk, which is the spin-off, Puffin Pulls the Plug, The Gamebooks That Never Were. Now that's interesting, some of the stories they might have written. Fighting Fantasy board games, so there's the Warlock of Far Top Mountain, Legend of Zagor, Return to Far Top Mountain, Rise of the Wizards, Eye of the Dragon Tonight and the Necromancer, so more books. And you see these are the numbered paragraphs, so you can follow, and you can see in the blue section there, turn to 7, turn to 382, that's an example. Treasures of the Warlock, Judge of Dread, Choose Your Own Christmas, 25th anniversary, foreign language editions, and just amazing artwork and seeing all the different covers. The Technomancers, the video game interpretations, there's quite a few of those over the years. Fighting Fantasy goes to the movies. The Black Pearl of Far Top Mountain, From Blood of the Zombies to You Are the Hero. So again, we are to some the most recent. The Convention. Sculptors, Miniature Marvels. Spin-offs by Citadel Miniatures there, which are really cool. Model Makers. The Way of the Minstrel. Fans inspired by the games, the soundtracks, the fanzines, The Keepers of the Flame, the curators, some of the collectors, sequential art, including the Freeway Fighter series, the broadcasts, when they appeared on television, Masters of Far Top Mountain, Legends in Their Own Lifetime, The Rebirth, the Luminaries celebrity status, so famous people who played, 40 years of Final Fighting Fantasy, The Legacy, You Are the Hero. And these are the Kickstarter backers for the original launch of the book. So, fantastic. So it goes with the book I had recently with the artwork. And I look forward to reading it. So, thanks for watching. Stay tuned to the channel for more bookshelf, retro shelf, merch stand, unboxing and gameplay videos.